There is a powder you can buy for about $1, a soft white dust that looks like nothing more than flour, that will clear a bed of bedbugs for good and keep them gone, when the sprays that cost 10 times as much have failed and failed again. It does not poison the bedbug. That is the whole secret of it, and the very reason it works where the sprays cannot. It kills them in a way they can never grow used to and never grow strong against, no matter how many generations of them come and go. I have kept a tin of this dust on the shelf for more years than I care to count, the same as my mother did before me, and her mother before her. We never once paid a man to come with a tank and a hose and a bill that came back every season. We had $1's worth of this dust and the plain knowing of how to use it. My name is Elsie Yoder, a plain Amish grandmother here in Lancaster County, and I am going to be honest with you the way I always am, because honesty is the only thing that makes a video like this worth your time. I will tell you what this powder is, exactly how it works, exactly how to lay it down so that it works, the mistakes that ruin it for most folks, and what it cannot do, for I will not sell you the bright half and leave you to find out the rest on your own. Before I go on, for the folks who want all of it, every method I have worked out over a long life of keeping a home for so much less than the English pay, my husband and I have gathered it into one place, in the Amish Home Savings Guide, over at elsieyoderamish.com, the link just below. You need none of it for what comes next. Now let me tell you what is really going on, for once you see it, the rest makes plain sense. A bedbug is built to beat you. It hides all the day long, deep in the seams of your mattress and the joints of the bed frame and the cracks of the wall, in places no eye and no spray will ever reach. And it comes out only in the dark to feed on you while you sleep. And here is the cruel part of it. The sprays they sell have been used so long and so hard that the bedbug has grown strong against them, generation upon generation, the way a weed grows back in a field that has been sprayed too often. You spray, and you kill a few of the weak ones, and the strong ones live and breed, and their young come up stronger still. And the eggs tucked away down in the seams, the spray never touches them at all. So you fight, and they always come back on you. This dust beats them by a different road entirely, a road they can never grow strong against, because it is not a poison at all. Put a pinch of it under a strong glass and you would see it is no smooth powder. It is a powder of tiny, hard, ancient shells, each one edged sharp as broken glass to a creature that small. When the bedbug crawls through it, those sharp edges score and scratch the waxy armor on its shell, the very armor that holds the water inside its body. And then the dust drinks that water out through the scratches. The bug dries up from the inside, and it dies, and it can no more grow resistant to being scratched and dried than you could grow resistant to broken glass under your own bare feet. That, and nothing cleverer than that, is why this dust still works after 100 years, while the sprays wear out their welcome in a single generation. The dust is called diatomaceous earth, and do not let the long name trouble you one bit. The old folks called it fossil flour, which is just exactly what it is. It is the ground-up shells of tiny creatures that lived in the waters of the world an age ago, dug out of the ground and milled to a fine, soft powder. It costs you a few dollars for a bag that will outlast this trouble and several more besides, and you can buy it plain, with no license and no prescription. But hear me on the one hard rule, for it truly matters. You must buy the kind marked food grade. There is another kind sold for the filters of swimming pools, and that kind has been cooked and changed, and it is not safe to breathe, and it will not do this work. Food grade. Say it over to yourself on the way to the store. Food grade and nothing else. Now here is exactly how to lay it down, and this is where most folks go wrong and then say the dust did not work, when it was the hand, and not the dust, that failed them. The first rule is the same as it ever is. Use almost none. A thin, thin film, a haze you can hardly see, is what you are after. A bedbug will walk clear around a heap of powder the way you would walk around a snowdrift across the path, and a pile of it does nothing but sit there. You want a film so light that the bug never sees it and walks straight on through it. If you can see a proper white line of it laid down, you have used 10 times too much. Tap it on gentle, or puff it from a little squeeze bottle, the barest breath of it and no more. Now, where to lay it? Strip the bed down to the bare mattress. Dust the seams of the mattress all the way round and into the buttons and the tufts, for that is where they hide first and thickest. Then the box spring, and do not you forget the underside of it and the cardboard corners, for that is their favorite city of all. Then every joint and screw hole of the bed frame and the headboard, and into the cracks where the headboard meets the wall, then out along the baseboards of the whole room, under the edge of the carpet where it meets the wall, and around the covers of the wall outlets, for they travel the hollow insides of the walls from one room clear to the next. And here is the trick that turns the whole bed into a fortress. Pull the bed away from the wall so that it touches nothing but the floor. Lift the blankets up so they do not hang down and brush the ground. And set each leg of the bed down inside a shallow dish or a jar lid with a ring of the dust laid in it. Now the only road up onto your bed runs straight through that dust, and any bug that means to climb up and feed on you must cross it and carry its own death up with it. You have made your bed an island, and the dust is the deep water all around it. Now you must be patient, for this is the slow, sure way, and not the fast way. The dust does not drop them where they stand. The bug must walk through it, and carry it, and dry out over some days. So do not come back the very next morning, see one bug still living, and decide it has all failed and wipe it away. Give it 2 weeks at the very least. And here is a thing you must understand about the eggs. The dust does not kill the egg, tucked safe away down in its seam, but it does not need to, because when that egg hatches, the little one that crawls out from it must cross the very same dust you laid down, and it dries up and dies the same as its mother did before it. That is the whole reason you leave the dust lying down, dry and undisturbed, for a good 3 or 4 weeks, right through the hatching of the very last of the eggs. Lay it the once, lay it right, and then leave it be. And keep it dry, for damp dust does no work at all. If a spot of it gets wet, let it dry out, or lay it down fresh. Hear me now on the mistakes, for any one of them will undo the whole of your good work. The first you know already: too much powder. Thin, thin, and always thin. The second is the wrong kind, the pool filter kind, that will not work and is not safe to breathe, only ever the food grade. The third is wiping it up too soon, before the eggs have all hatched and crossed it. Give it the full month. The fourth is the one I see the most. A body dusts the top of the mattress where they sleep, and stops there. But they do not live on the top where you lie. They live down in the seams, in the box spring, in the joints of the frame, in the cracks of the wall. If you do not dust where they truly hide, you have done next to nothing. And the fifth is making the bed itself clean, but leaving it a bridge to the floor, the blankets hanging down, the frame shoved against the wall, so that they simply find another road back up. Make it an island, every single time. Now a word on keeping them from ever coming home in the first place, for the dust ends them, but a careless habit invites them right back. Bedbugs do not rise up out of nothing. They are carried in, every time, on a thing that comes through your door. So when you bring home a piece of second-hand furniture, and most especially a bed or a soft chair, look it over close in the seams and the joints before ever it comes inside, and dust it down to be sure. And when you have been away from home and slept in another bed, do not set your suitcase up on the bed when you come in. Leave it on a hard floor and run all the clothes from your traveling through a hot wash and a hot dryer, for the heat will kill anything that thought to hitch a ride. A little watchfulness at the door saves you the whole of this trouble later. Now I promised you the honest drawbacks, and I keep my word. This is not a thing for a single night. If you need every last bug dead by the morning, this is not that, and no honest powder is. It is the slow, the sure, the lasting way, and it must be kept dry to do its work. And here is the word of care, and you mind it well. Even the food-grade dust is a fine, fine powder, and you do not want to be breathing it down into your lungs as you work. So wear a cloth or a dust mask over your nose and your mouth while you lay it. Tap it gentle so it does not cloud up into the air, and let it settle before the little ones and the animals come back into the room. It is far gentler than the chemical sprays, but it is still a dust, and a dust is for the cracks in the floor, never for the air you breathe. And the honest limit, if your trouble has run clear through a whole apartment building, wall to wall and floor to floor, that is bigger than one woman's tin of powder, and there is no shame at all in calling a licensed man with his heat machines for a thing gone that far. The dust is your sure, your cheap, your lasting layer, and for most homes, laid down right, it is enough on its own. Now you may well wonder, if a few dollars of fossil flour does what the man with the truck charges $300 and $400 to come and fight again the next month, why were you never once told about it? You may even have heard it whispered that the stuff is banned, in this state or that. Well, there is a grain of truth and a great heap of nonsense in that. Here and there, some places fuss over how a thing may be labeled and sold once a claim is made upon it, the way they will fuss over many a plain old thing that costs too little to please anybody. But dangerous it is not, used with the sense the good Lord gave you. The plainer truth is the sadder one. There is no fortune to be made in a $1 dust that you lay down once and then forget you own. There is a whole river of money in a spray that fails inside a month, and a fellow who comes back on a schedule you could set your calendar by. The whole trade is built not on ending your trouble at all, but on your trouble coming back, faithful forever. So the dust was not so much banned as it was buried, pushed down low, talked about less and less, until a thing every housekeeper once knew became a thing that almost nobody knows. That is no secret anyone ever had to lock away. It is only a thing that we were all, slowly and quietly, allowed to forget. So here is what I would have you do. Go and get the bag of food-grade diatomaceous earth, a few dollars, and a little squeeze bottle to puff it out thin. Strip your bed and lay the dust thin in every seam and joint and crack where they hide, and set the bed legs down in their rings, and pull the whole bed into an island, and then leave it be, dry and undisturbed, for a full month, right through the hatching, and let it do its slow and certain work. And then come back down here and tell me, in the comments, what county do you live in, and how old is your house, and how bad the trouble had got, for the older houses with the deep cracks tend to carry the worst of it, and I am always learning which troubles go with which sort of a home. And tell me true, even should it be slow, for I would far rather know the honest truth than be flattered, and I read every single one, and know there is nothing clever in any of it. It is only remembered. The women who kept these houses before us were not one bit wiser than you and I are. They simply could not afford the man with the truck, and so they could not afford to forget the dollar dust that did his work, and did it better. Teach it to one young soul setting up a first home, for that is how this knowing has stayed alive all these years, not in any book, but handed from one pair of hands down to the next. Next time, the good Lord willing, I will show you the plain old way we drive the mice and the rats clean out of a house for good, with never a drop of poison in it. Until then, mind your dust, keep it dry, and God keep you all.